frequently attested Indus sign would very often occur next to itself, but this is never the case in the Indus Valley. The combination is, however, attested on a round Gulf-type seal coming from the Near East. The seal contains 5 frequently occurring Indus signs, but in unique sequences. This suggests that Harappan trade agents who resided in the Gulf and in Mesopotamia became bilingual and adopted local names, but wrote their foreign names in the Indus script for the Harappans to read. The cuneiform texts, in fact, speak not only of a distant country called Meluhha, but also of a village in southern Mesopotamia called Meluhha, whose inhabitants had purely Sumerian names. According to its inscription, one old Akkadian cylinder seal belonged to Su-ilishu, interpreter of the Meluhhan language. This implies that the Meluhhan language differed from the languages commonly spoken and understood in the ancient Near East, above all Sumerian, Akkadian and Elamite. Near Eastern languages on the whole appear historically much less likely to have been spoken in the Indus Valley than languages known to have existed in South Asia. Because the origin of the Aryan languages is such a controversial issue, especially in India, it is necessary to trace these languages back to their source, the Proto-Indo-European. The location and dating of Proto-Indo-European too have long been debated, but a fair consensus concerning this problem is in sight. When the Proto-Indo-European speaking community dispersed, its language had a dozen terms related to wheeled vehicles. Wheeled vehicles were invented shortly before 3500 BC in southeastern Europe, from where they quickly spread to areas where the principal Indo-European languages were later spoken. Greek and Armenian are the closest linguistic relatives of Indo-Iranian, and the protoforms of these languages are likely to have been spoken in the pit grave or Yamnaya cultures, which between 3300 and 3000 BCE spread with ox carts from North Pontic steppes eastwards towards the Ural Mountains. The Eurasian steppes are the native habitat of the horse. It was there that the horse was first yoked to pull a light-wheeled chariot at the end of the 3rd millennium BCE. Early Aryan loanwords in Finno-Ugric languages spoken in northeastern Europe locates Proto-Aryan to the Volga-Ural steppes. From the Volga-Ural steppes, the horse-drawn chariots spread southwards to the Bronze Age culture in southern Central Asia. The Bactrian-Margiana archaeological complex, which flourished about 2300 to 1500 BCE. The Bactria-Margiana people started moving to Iran and to the Indus Valley in the late Harappan period, around 1900 to 1600 BCE. At the same time, the Bactria-Margiana sites were surrounded by nomadic campsites of peoples from the Eurasian steppes who probably spoke early forms of Indo-Iranian. On their way to Iran and India, these migrants took over the rule and culture of Bactria-Margiana. Alexander Lubotsky has listed all words shared by Iranian and Indo-Aryan languages, which do not have an acceptable Indo-European origin. In structure, these words largely agree with the 383 foreign loan words in the language of the Rig Veda listed by Franz Kauper. Lubotsky has suggested that most words in both lists come from the language of Bactria Magiana. This justified conclusion implies that these foreign words of an unknown language were borrowed by Rigvedic Aryans before they entered the Indus Valley, or from the language of the Dasas, an earlier come wave of Indo-Iranian speakers with the Bactria Magiana substratum. Hence, these words do not represent the Harappan language. Their use for the decipherment of the Indus script would in any case not be feasible for the simple reason that the exact meaning of so many of them is unclear. Although Indo-Iranian languages have been spoken in the Indus Valley since the 2nd millennium BCE, they were hardly spoken by Harappan people in the 3rd millennium. The domesticated horse played an important role in the culture of Indo-Iranian speakers, but according to faunal remains, the horse came to South Asia only after 2000 BCE, and it is not depicted in the Harappan art. The first appearance of the horse is in Swat, in the Bactria Magiana-derived Gandhara grave culture. Its characteristic face urn seemed to be connected with the cult of Ashvins, the Vedic gods of chariotry. Burushaski, spoken in northernmost Pakistan, is a linguistic isolate, but possibly related with the Ketic languages of Siberia. There is little trace of Burushaski further south. Burushaski's arrival from the north was probably preceded by the Himalayan group of Tibeto-Burman languages, which may be connected with the northern Neolithic of the Swat Valley and Kashmir. The northern Neolithic had some contact with the early Harappans, but only in its own northern area. In general, the Sino-Tibetan languages, always restricted to the Himalayan regions in South Asia, are unlikely candidates for a genetic relationship with the Harappan language. The Austroasiatic languages known from Central and Eastern India, with linguistic relatives in Southeast Asia and minor participation in the linguistic convergence in South Asia, are also unlikely to have descended from the Harappan language. The only remaining alternative among the well-known potential linguistic relatives of the Harappan language is the Dravidian language family. The 26 Dravidian languages are now mainly spoken in Central and South India. However, one Dravidian language, Brahui, has been spoken in Balochistan in the northwest